You'll never see an animation loser like Young-woo. Because he's such a huge simp for Chad's son Young-woo, everyone treats him like he's been invisible his whole life. The only thing that saved him from killing himself was solo leveling. Everything changed, though, when a magic system picked him to be the hero at McDonald's. He now has the power to become invisible, and is on a quest to get stronger and get more powers. But first, he turns his attention to anyone who treats him like he's cartoon trash. It all started at work in Ocean Square, where people are still mean to him because he likes anime. No matter what, John Cena's work falls to the ground when he bumps into a partner. But some of his coworkers act like they don't see anything and start to stomp on his work. When he looks up, he sees some big bonods in front of him. He's not sure whether he should turn into a simp to enjoy the gwats on them or smack them for being wild. After downloading a mental picture of a huge bakery to use as content for later tonight, Young-woo gets up to act like Karen as well as he can. When the girls hear Young-woo yell at them, they turn around. One of them gives him the mean eye, which scares him, while the other looks disgusted. That's why bro cuts him off and says it's nothing. That's how we know this guy is a true beta male. After not being able to explain himself, Young-woo does his best to make up for the hours he wasted on ripped up papers that are due today. His team boss, Mi-ju, ganks him. As a surprise, she helps him by getting some of his papers together. He is shocked because no one has ever helped him before. Young-woo's jaw drops when she tells him that they should have helped him instead of making things worse. He thinks he just got a makima to his denji. After getting everything, though, she tells him right away to leave his work at her desk, even though he hasn't finished putting everything together yet. Bro starts to have a hallucination when he gets to her office. He thinks he's about to score, which will make his sausage come back to life, just like in a cultured cartoon. The tables are turned against Young-woo because it turns out that he set off Mi-ju's trap card and was completely fooled by her. Unfortunately, it wasn't a joke. She ripped up Young-woo's work from the past month in front of him while calling him trash. She rips everything up and then gives him back his work while telling him he needs to finish it by tomorrow or he'll be fired from the company. Even worse, Mi-ju gives him her Christmas stockings when her helper walks in and interrupts them, making bro look even worse in front of other people. He goes back to his desk angry and with his stockings in hand. While he's still on company time, he quickly looks for sexy anime without using an anonymous browser. At last it gets dark, and he has to stay put because the limit is coming up soon. Bro gives up and throws everything away. He sees that Mi-ju had to stay late too, so he attacks her from the middle lane like a wild animal while yelling at her for being so rude to him. Bro loses it, so he takes a page from his favorite anime that he watches every night and gets payback while looking like a crazy person. Lucky for Young-woo, it was all just a dream. He wakes up and sighs, realizing that his life will always be bad and there's nothing he can do about it. He knows that if he gets fired, he will have no money because he spent all of it on gacha games like Genshin Impact, so he really screws up his report. Later that night, bro went to get some energy drinks, but while he was gone, he saw his whole team out and about. He sneaks around to see what's going on. Mi-ju, the team boss, and the rest of his team go on team dinners every day, but they leave him behind on purpose so he doesn't know. Continuing to listen in, Young-woo finds out that Mi-ju told everyone that he was an orphan, and that she was the only one who treated him badly because she doesn't see him as equal to her. Suddenly, a system that looks like a game pops up and tells him that he woke up as an outsider class after pushing his limit of disrespect to its limits. He starts to scream as the system starts to cover his whole body. In other words, it CHS him for being the biggest loser around. After screaming like a girl even though he wasn't hurt, he drops his drink by mistake, which makes everyone around him look at him. The team goes to check out the noise they heard, but there is no one nearby, even though Young-woo is right next to them. He is confused about why no one can see him until a message tells him that he is now invisible. The Fire Nation gets into his head when they find out that no one can see him. This makes him look like the biggest ultimate Suzy Baka and gives him crazy thoughts. When we go back to Ocean Square headquarters, Maiju meets up with another team boss. This one is named Song Ki-won. She seems really nice, which is likely why Maiju acts fake around Ki-won and makes it look like she hates her. But everyone knows that pros never lie. Even so, when Ki-won leaves the building, Maiju runs straight to Young-woo's desk. But she can't find him, even though he's right behind her. After running around her like a monkey to make sure he's not seen, Young-woo gives her the biggest grin of his life a few seconds later. Now my sexy senses are starting to tingle. He doesn't rob a bank or turn into a superhero. Instead, he uses his first special power to get close to his team boss. We already have a good idea of what will happen next. You're exactly right. Bro uses the fact that he can't be seen to give her the finger on both the twin pyramids of Giza and her secret treasure chest at the same time, like a real threat. Luckily for her, Ki-won showed up after hearing some strange sounds coming from the lifts downstairs, stopping Young-woo before he could fully change into the Korean Kevin Bacon. She then asks if everything is okay. After making sure she's safe and no one else is nearby, Ki-won asks her about the work her team did, but Ki-won's face goes away when she asks her why she's making other people do all her work, so you know she's about to punish her severely. Maiju just laughs it off and tells her not to worry about it. In the middle of a conversation with Ki-won, Young-woo starts to grab her bakery really hard to teach her a lesson and get an embarrassing answer in front of another team boss. She can be more quiet and secure than Fire Force's Iris Salma. However, Young-woo is shocked to hear that Maiju keeps putting him down. After that, Maiju insults Ki-won over and over again, even though the brunette was only trying to keep Young-woo safe from his mean team leader because she knows something is wrong with Maiju. After hearing this for a while, Young-woo loses it and smacks Maiju's big double poppers so hard that she falls to the ground face first. She finally learns a lesson when she embarrasses herself in front of Ki-won. This makes her cry a little, but she doesn't know what's going on. This leads Maiju to believe that karma has finally caught up with her. Ki-won feels bad for her, but then scolds her in the name of the company because she can't believe a boss would drink so much at headquarters while making the youngest worker stay late to finish her own work. In the end, Ki-won walks off because he can't figure out what Maiju is really like. Maiju is speechless and looks just like the Killjoy spray that my friend's hips keep running into. Now that Ki-won is gone, the room quickly fills with Suzy Nation mist. Young-woo looks like he's about to use some illegal jutsu on his target, which is something he's been waiting his whole life to do. But because Bro is a threat, he plays with his prey first, which drives Maiju crazy because she can't leave the room even though the doors are open. It dawns on her that she may have drunk far too much. Young-woo is actively blocking the door from opening from the inside, so she keeps trying to pry it open but fails. This is making her cry because she can't understand it. She remembers that she has the security team's number saved as a last option, so she quickly picks up the phone while shaking her boots off. But her worst fear has only just started. Someone swipes her phone out of her hands, and then she starts to get sticky goo on her face. It smells too familiar for her to be real. Later, Bro has a big fart right next to Maiju while she's not wearing trousers. This changes the whole idea of deadly but silent farts. Young-woo then delivers a special package straight to Maiju's airways, which completely shocks her while she's trying to figure out what's making her gasp for air. Most anime main characters are stupid, but we can tell right away that Bro isn't like that because of the faces he makes and the evil smile he wears. I don't think he'll be good like Sun Young-woo, who is his hero. Anyway, it's tough to fight back against a man who you can't see, especially if he's mad at you. Maiju loses her one-on-one match, which lets Young-woo surprise her with a drink. Once Maiju has taken in all of the unseen shakes, she gets up and yells at the empty room that she will tell Riot Games that whoever this is should never play Valorant again because their aim is so bad. Young-woo is about to turn Maiju into a PlayStation, and our threat is about to plug in his unseen controller. Maiju will soon learn why it's important not to bother nerds with their video games. Anyway, this channel doesn't use clickbait, so bro does become invisible and starts clapping Maiju right away, just like the title and image say. Before this, Youngwoo chose to honor Dragon Ball Z in his own unique way. He leveled up to over 9,000 and kept hitting Maiju with straight Kamehameha hits. To make a long story short, bro started making his anime dreams come true, and Maiju can't get enough of what's going on. I, on the other hand, would quickly jump out of a window or smash the door open if strange things started happening. Youngwoo starts to remember the first time he met his team boss while he is beating Maiju absolutely silly. Maiju was the most beautiful girl on campus, and every guy had a crush on her. She was also very smart, which helped her become the youngest team leader in the company. But she was truly cruel, and even though she knew she was blessed with Burger King-sized breasts, she used them to her advantage to get guys to do whatever she wanted while keeping them all at bay because she put work ahead of everything else. Now we're back in the present, and loser Youngwoo is gone because he thinks he is the king bee clapping the queen that stung him the whole time he was on Team 1. So, just like Snoop Dogg, he doesn't care and puts the dog in her Snoop. All of this is crazy because Maiju is crazy for loving every battering ram hit, so she gets to the finish line quickly. Right when Maiju reaches the top of her mountain, bro gets a surprise gank from the game telling him that the time limit for stranger mode has passed. Soon after, he started unraveling all over himself, which made him slowly become visible again. Good thing Maiju was already past her overly sensitive phase for Youngwoo. Bro then lets out a sigh of relief after making sure she's really out cold. Youngwoo says he'll just go home and forget about what happened since he didn't cross the finish line himself. When the next day comes, Youngwoo goes to work and hopes that no one found out. He needs to buy some new skins for Roblox soon, so he doesn't want to be caught. He thinks everything is fine because everyone is treating him normally, but all of a sudden Maiju ganks him and tells him to go straight to her office. Since she was still wearing the same clothes from the night before, she couldn't make eye contact with him. As soon as he walked into her office, she turned around and began yelling at him, calling him things like bottom fragger and dove fruit spammer. In this very moment, bro realized he had done something wrong. His life then flashes before his eyes as he thinks about all the great times he had watching anime all at once and listening to New Jeans perform. He knows it's over now that the jig is up. Another flashback takes place exactly 1 hour ago, to a time when a team member named Hina is shocked to see Maiju up early because of daylight savings time. For all the girls out there, it's against the rules to wear the same thing to work. So Hina is shocked to see Maiju wearing the same outfit as the day before. But she doesn't say anything because she's in charge of the team. When Hina turns around, Maiju starts to freak out because she just woke up when she heard Hina open the door, and all of her memories from last night start to come back to her. As of now, she's still not sure if it was all a dream or if it really happened. She knows she had a few drinks before, but she didn't really go over her limit since she's a veteran. So now we're in the present, and she wants to know the truth about what happened last night. She has chosen to corner and gank the person she thinks caused her crazy dream. Luckily for Youngwoo, he doesn't say right away that he is the Invisible Man. He turns the tables on her and acts like he doesn't understand what she means, which is the smartest thing he has ever done. Plus, cameras clearly show that Youngwoo stayed late, but he later disappeared, and there were no signs that he would be back at the same time as Ki-won and Maiju. This makes things even better for him. Maiju gives up trying to question him in the end because his story makes so much sense. She lets him go and tells him that it looks like there was a mistake. This makes her feel bad, and her face turns red. Therefore, Youngwoo says sorry and leaves the room. But his smile makes it clear that he's very pleased that he wasn't caught. Now it's time for the second round. When he tries to leave the room, a member of his team with huge badon-kadonks ganks him, wiping off his smug smile in an instant. They usually treat him like he's not worth anything. She quickly got Maiju's attention because she was afraid that something might have happened because she heard loud noises coming from her office and blocked Youngwoo's way out. Maiju tries her best to act like nothing happened between them, though, because she is still ashamed of what happened. She says it was because they were talking about work. But when Bro heard Maiju talk about his presentation, he freaked out. He looked like me when I put things off for a long time, since he forgot all about work after becoming the Invisible Man the night before. Bro then quickly remembers that he spent the whole night going over what happened in his head over and over again because it was too good to miss. This means that he's still not done. As soon as she realizes that Youngwoo is still not done, she screams and yells at him at the top of her lungs, scaring everyone nearby. Then, like a stepmother, she keeps yelling at him in front of everyone. She should be careful, because she could get stuck in the laundry while her stepson Youngwoo comes around. Still, Maiju is very stressed because she was meant to finish it today, so she tells Youngwoo to do it. But I don't think her neck pain will be the only pain she feels soon. The area makes Youngwoo feel worse than the island boys, and he has to leave it. But now that he's the Invisible Man, his anger is even higher. He seems to have a plan. After a couple of hours, we find Maiju getting ready for her talk back at Ocean Square headquarters. Even so, she can't help but think about who else might have broken through her defenses last night if it wasn't Youngwoo. She finally gives up trying to figure out what happened and leads herself to believe that she probably made up the whole thing in her dream. Let's be honest, which of you Susie Beck's dreams every night about guys or girls who aren't there smashing the crap out of you with rice cakes? Because that makes you the perfect goth girl. Another 30 minutes pass, and all the teams are now here for their work presentations. It's now the turn of Team 3. But Youngwoo is not to be found. Then it comes out that Maiju is already on stage speaking for Team 3. This makes Key 1 turn into a vulture and start asking tough questions all over the place. Thank goodness Maiju was born very smart, because she can answer all of their questions in detail, while the male team leaders look at her guns. We also learn that Youngwoo did the impossible earlier by ending his presentation with the help of plot armor, which let Maiju keep going. What's wrong with Maiju? She looks like she just saw a ghost in the middle of her speech. The board members then notice the quick change in her facial expression and ask her if she's okay. Maiju replies that her throat feels stuffy. She suddenly realizes that her throat hasn't felt this stuffy since the night before. We all know why it felt that way, and it's not because she's sick. After a short time, her worst fear comes true again while she is in public. She doesn't know what to do because she thought it was all a dream after feeling sudden, scary Fire Nation attacks on her bakery and her watermelons at the same time. She didn't expect to be ganked by the Invisible Man again. And trust us when we say that Youngwoo is loving having his outsider mode on. She walks like a fighter in front of everyone, though, because this is the most important meeting of her life. She does her best to hold back the mountain's peak, so Youngwoo had better step up because Bro is literally invisible. Maiju keeps going with the show while Youngwoo plays at a disappointingly low level of 1 out of 10 intensity. That's especially true since this guy can do anything to get back at her. He can take off parts of her armor in public and make it look like she's crazy. But Youngwoo wants things to go slowly and steadily, so I guess he doesn't have a big brain after all. In any case, Youngwoo switches from cupping to grabbing the people in front of him as Maiju is halfway through her talk. It's then his choice to go to the yard below. While this was going on, Bro Solo leveled up his attack, which made Maiju squeal so loudly like a vegan pig when she suddenly took off her captain underpants. She's lucky, though, because the stand blocks the front view, so no one can tell. The crazy person then does a quick patent and lifts her diamond skirt a bit, showing off some crazy cake, which makes Maiju turn around. She is shocked to see that no one is behind her. Finally, Maiju's bakery is ready for a quick jet entry. Bro pulls out his nether dragon and slides it next to her garden, which makes her make some strange primal noises. People in the crowd ask her if she's okay. But because Bro is a threat to anime society, he lets Maiju calm down in front of everyone. But we all know that his Dragon Balls are about to roar into her time chamber. No matter what, Young-woo keeps laughing to himself like a bad guy, thinking that it would be awful fun if he easily brought her down like Nadia from Call of Duty. Young-woo then lets her keep going with the talk minute by minute. That being said, he keeps moving his lightsaber right outside her starship and between her legs as she talks. In the end, Maiju finishes her show. She gets a standing ovation because there were so many simps, which makes Ki-won and Young-woo unhappy. We already know that Ki-won is very angry. Then, all the simps went outside to talk about Maiju because they saw something different in her today. You can see Young-woo sneaking out during this break. At the same time, Hina goes up to Maiju and tells her how great the show was. But Maiju just shrugs her off before Hina can finish her thought. It looks like she needs to go to the toilet more often. She sits down on her chair to try to figure out what just happened after finally getting to the toilet. She doesn't believe in ghosts or other strange things, so she can't believe she felt a sausage next to her patty. Then it gets really weird when we find out that her special spaceship is leaking like a waterfall. She tells herself that she can't believe the thought of a Phantom Man is putting more power into her than a Tesla. And the worst part is that she's not even Dragon Ball Z's Android 18. There shouldn't be any feelings at all, especially since Krillin isn't the one who is helping her. She takes care of the Suzy stuff herself because of this. Since the Invisible Man teased her too much, she goes crazy on her chair like Spam. Now she has to get across the finish line herself. But Maiju doesn't think about the fact that her strange, unseen man might have been following her the whole time. So Young-woo can see her turn into the most sexy Becca possible. Maiju hears a voice whispering in her ear. It says that if it's his fault that she's acting this way, then he needs to take responsibility. She stops being a Suzy master all of a sudden because of this. After that, she tries to ask the close air if anyone is there, but it doesn't answer. Things are about to get really dirty, so let's hope her throne is spotless. In the next second, Maiju's life goes crazy when she finds her robotic legs wide open like Omen. Then she feels like an unseen hot dog is moving inside her buns. Young-woo, meanwhile, is shocked and thrilled that his Costco jumbo hot dog fit so easily deep inside Maiju's spaceship, which was already so wet from the flood of the past. Bro then says out loud to Maiju, "Are you a pervy sage apprentice? Because who would go to the toilet at work to satisfy their super sexy needs while they're still on company time?" When she hears the Phantom Man's voice again, she yells at him, telling him she knew he was a person the whole time. She tells him to stop, or she will scream like a one-piece hyena. But Young-woo gives Maiju his famous smirk and tells her to do it. He knows that if everyone rushes to help her, it will be her downfall because no one will believe that an invisible guy is real. Bro then makes a good point with Maiju by saying that she is less smart than most Isekai main characters. What people will only see is her sitting on her throne in a weird way. Talk about the devil now. After telling Maiju to make sense of things, two girls come in to wash their hands. Young-woo laughs and tells Maiju to do it as he pulls out his thrusters, getting her rocket ready to go as fast as the Flash. As Young-woo turns into Super Saiyan, Maiju holds on tight for the wild ride, not wanting to make a sound as the girls outside talk about the team leaders. It's not possible for these girls to not hear the loud hitting and squishing sounds. The plot gets stronger when we find out that Ki-won is the daughter of the company's CEO. At the same time, Young-woo keeps breaching and entering the right spot. Maiju is about to lose the fight in a matter of seconds. Brothers work even harder than a hot Fortnite pro with his default skin pickaxe inside Maiju's treasure chest while the girls are still inside doing their crazy anime makeup. He wants her to pass out again like the last time. In the end, Bro feels the starship in front of him falling faster and faster, like Donkey Kong. The wild animal takes off Maiju's hand muffles because he knows she's almost done. When the girls outside hear Maiju's words coming out of the stall, they turn around right away. She can't be quiet, even if her life depends on it, because the Invisible Man is plow the field with such force right now. The two then decide to get closer. both of them having no idea what's going on inside. Maiju doesn't answer when they ask if she's okay. All they hear are nature calls. The girls decide to leave her alone because they think that her first sounds are the same as her need to go to the toilet a lot on her chair. I have no idea how they were able to tell the difference. But now that Maiju has given up and lost their cultural battle, it looks like she's going to be reborn in this sexy world. Bro tells her in a whisper that she can now cross the finish line. The girls finally leave because they think Maiju is about to drop some huge bombs and don't want to smell anything. She only makes it to the top of the mountain, though, which makes it look like she was just hit by an earthquake. No matter what, Maiju is left shaking and trembling on her throne while mumbling Old English with a London accent. This is because the invisible man killed her completely. Youngwoo tells her not to mess with him again after he finishes his task. She knows what will happen if she does. After leaving the shop, he doesn't check to see if anyone else is outside and leaves Maiju behind. He leaves the stall and shuts the door behind him, but as he does, his magical mist leaves his body. This is because he has reached the end of his outsider activation mode. Youngwoo doesn't know that Hina was in the toilet cubicle next to them the whole time, which is a bad thing. Because she was so lucky, she was able to see his face as he came out of the bathroom. Later, when it got dark, Youngwoo was walking around the city trying to figure out what to do with his new skills and powers. He doesn't get caught every time he wants to get even, like a real Susie Becca. That's the first thing that comes to mind. When he thinks of team leader Maiju, his secret dragon grows right away. For some reason, Bro finally realizes that he can do anything now, so he needs to get stronger to make his life different for good. He can also now buy as many skins for any game as he wants. In spite of this, he chooses to stay a low-level employee at Ocean Square even though he could easily become a billionaire. His reason is payback. While Youngwoo walks around thinking of all the things he could do if he could become invisible, he doesn't notice that someone has been following him the whole time. A few days later, Youngwoo is relaxing at work, but he's really worn out from all the tests he had to do for a project that's coming up. Being outside for work has also helped him test his superpowers, which is how he knows that outsider mode can only last for about 2 hours until he gets stronger. He's been trying to find ways to level it up since it's only level 1, but nothing works. He wants to get to level 69 as soon as possible. No matter what, Bro goes back to work and gets back to normal, but it's been days and he still hasn't seen Maiju go to work. When he asks the assistant leader what's wrong with her, Glass Nerd only looks at him and stares at him for a few seconds. Then she doesn't say anything and continues to stare at Youngwoo like he's not there. Because of this, Youngwoo knows that everyone in the office has always treated him badly, so he is going to get back at them one by one. Unfortunately, Hina ganks Bro while he's still thinking about how bad he is. She comes over to tell him that Maiju has been taking the days off because she's sick. After that, Youngwoo thanks her because no one else really stops to talk to him on purpose. After that, though, she asks Youngwoo if she can see him alone for a moment. When Hina gets down on her knees and shows some fat bat on Kadonks, things get weirdly very quickly worse. When they have some alone time, they get very close. She even tells him in a whisper to be strong and to tell her if anyone at work treats him badly, so she's acting a little suspicious. The next day, she starts calling him during work hours, which surprises Bro because no one has ever slid into his direct messages before. Pepsi is better than Coke, by the way. Youngwoo drinks his Sprite and thinks about whether he should react since he always got blocked when he tried to slide into someone else's direct message. In the end, Bro just shrugs it off and gets through the day. He still hates his job so much, even though he now has skills. He goes home at an ungodly hour, though, and the Suzy turntables start to spin when Youngwoo goes home at the same time as Hina, even though she never stays this late. Tina ends up asking him to go out for drinks after some small talk. This is a sign that things are about to get serious. Now, though, my sexy senses are getting stronger. There's something fishy about her because she puts their whole tab on her. It's not the smell down there. For some reason, Yongwoo doesn't think twice about the person who treats him like trash all the time. Bro has fun because this is his first time going out in a while. He plays too much blocks fruits, so I don't blame him. It's time for him to touch grass. Still, when she flashes her pyramids of Giza right at him, Yongwoo forgets everything she did wrong. She tries to say that everyone else is to blame for treating him like the worst Detroit Pistons player at work, and this loser believes her, even though she was one of the girls who destroyed his work the other day. He can't really be blamed when he sees something that looks fresher than a French bakery. After seeing those sweet baker's buns, he's already lost the fight. Anyway, as they walk home, they don't know what to do, and Hina ganks Yongwoo and invites herself to his house. He's shocked and can't say anything, even though his banana tree plantation makes him a superhero who fights unfairness. He's not an alpha yet, so he doesn't say anything and lets her keep following him home. That's why I think he failed the basic survival skills test. He lets her in without saying a word when he gets home. I can feel his blood rushing down there. She's not out to destroy him, which is good for him. She instead throws herself at him as soon as they get inside, as if he were a beautiful billionaire. Within just 1 minute, the Suzy levels went straight from 69 to over 9,000 as all clothes came flying across the room as if some savages were stuck, unable to breed for over a century. This time, however, Hina is the one that gets ganked by surprise after seeing his prince Behemoth come alive and well for the first time ever. Unable to understand how this quiet geek hid a monster the entire time, to no surprise, she's a menace, so she's able to fully manage the banana tree plantation with one quick gulp and keeps going for more, leaving Yongwoo to almost explode his volcano. She then smirks after seeing Yongwoo almost lose their 1 versus 1 culture fight without her even putting his chocolate inside her cream donuts. So bro better get ready for the real battle. A few seconds later, she stops slurping the 7-Eleven Slurpee on him and gives him a crazy look while busy asking him whether or not he's seeing someone at the company, to which he denies. Eventually, she easily takes in all of his battering ram into her sea, which makes Yongwoo almost pass out from how experienced she is. But she keeps asking if he's seeing someone. You can be sure that something is wrong, but lucky for Yongwoo, he can take charge and start showing her that he's not just a nerd by using his banana tree to send her to another world. No matter what, bro fills up her milkshake machine with the milk he was born with. Just when we all thought it was over, Hina tells him in a whisper that it's time for round 2. Things get really weird when she puts on a blindfold and acts like she's trying to turn him into a ninja for round 2. She ties him to a chair, too. Then the Suzy turntables start to spin when Hina starts laughing at him. Bro almost lost round 2 because she tricked him into thinking he was clapping her, but it was really her sock. After a short silence, Yongwoo starts to worry that Hina may have done something bad. But it turns out she just pulled out her phone to record bro getting into a pickle. Even so, Hina's laughter breaks the quiet when she yells at him that she saw him race car driving Maiju at work the other day. She makes it clear that this whole thing was a setup and that she never really cared about him. She keeps going by calling him stupid and saying that the only reason she's here is to find out what happened with Yongwoo out in the open. Hina says she will send a recording of him clapping her sock to everyone he knows if he doesn't explain how Maiju let him destroy the papaya she was born with. Because of how angry he is about what's happening, his outsider mode levels up when his disdain levels reach their highest point. Then bro starts to look like he's going to rip the ropes that are tying him up by force. However, before he does that, Hina's bad behavior gives him access to a brand new skill. He is so angry that he can't stand to do anything, so he just sits there and looks down at Hina as she puts everything back on. She then leaves his place without freeing him and laughs like a bad girl. So bro, you should either get back at her for being bad or chill out for him. After taking everything in for a few minutes, Yongwoo lets out a sigh of relief and turns on outsider mode level 2, which gives him a new skill that makes it easy to get through everything. After that, he gets up without a fuss, looking like he's thinking about something sneaky. It looks like Hina is about to learn a lesson. Never pick on anime jerks. The next morning, Hina is on the tube, laughing at the video she took of Youngwoo being a Suzy master. But as for me, I don't like seeing naughty things happen in public. Still, this crazy person is having a great time thinking about how to bring down Youngwoo because she believes he is the key to defeating her enemy. Mind you, she is planning something bad while riding the bus. But her plans are cut short when she feels someone grabbing a piece of her precious cake. She is so shocked that she doesn't turn around. To begin with, she was only hoping the weirdo would stop. But when she feels both buns getting the 5-finger discount at the same time, she finally turns around to face the weirdo. But when she yells and looks around the corner, she doesn't see anyone. This makes the guys behind her think she might be high on something, like white powder. To make things even worse, Hina gets ganked by a coworker who is also the boss of the company. She was starting to feel like she might be in trouble today. At this very moment, our invisible boy showed up. He looks like he's watched too many Suzy cartoons like you, and he's about to live out all of his wildest dreams through you. So bro acts like he's cam spam by going after her twin dragons and throwing them around like a baseball while putting his cold hot dog right next to her city gates, which makes Hina make a funny noise. Youngwoo is determined to get his payback, and he hasn't even begun to describe what he plans to do next. She does her best to act normal in front of the manager to please him. After a few seconds, the manager finally sees that she's acting really weird. He asks her if she's okay, but Hina begs him not to pay attention to her because her stomach hurts. At some point, she does some maths and bends at a sharp angle perpendicular to Youngwoo's Prince Giant. She then starts screaming non-stop, making everyone around her wonder if she's crazy. The manager gets off at the next stop, which is good for her, so she stays to avoid him. However, the underground is packed with a billion other Japanese people who all need to get to work. Since he is stuck in a corner and can't go anywhere else, Youngwoo starts part 3 of the plan by pushing Hina against the window. He is ready to fight, but he is about to use his Ender Dragon to destroy the northern region. For Hina, the game is over, and the loss will not get another chance. However, since she keeps losing, no one sees that Hina's pants was taken off, leaving the treasure cave dripping like a waterfall. Soon, Hina can't stop making her wild sounds because Youngwoo's hard hitting on the rice cake will make her unable to move the next day. She only wants to make sure that no one at work or in her circle of friends sees her like this, or else her life will end. Still, at least these people are just passing by. Someone finally sees her in the rice cake smashing position after she's been a Suzy Becca in public for 30 minutes. The bro was on a different train going the opposite way of the lines she's on, so she still has huge plot armor on her side. No matter what, she falls over when the door opens at the last stop, but no one is asking why her behind is out in the open when there's a huge pool of sticky liquid right under where she was standing. In the end, some kind people try to help her without judging her, but all they can see is her angry face, so it looks like someone got a domain increase.